Okay, so good morning, everybody. My name is Robin Mooring, and I am the Students at Work Program Coordinator. And this is our Students at Work First Responder Industry Spotlight Day. And I will now turn it over to Officer Tricia Edwards with the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department.
Hey everyone, how you doing this morning? My name is Tricia Edwards, and I'm a police officer with the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I've been a police officer for 28 years now. And it has been a very rewarding career. I'm married. I have two kids that are juniors in high school. And so hopefully they will be on the path to going to college soon. And so I'm doing all those college chores now. So I know we're getting you all a little bit early, but it's never too late or too early to start, getting you ready for college or just a job in the future. So I know a lot of folks want to know about pay. I'll tell you real quick that as a police officer, if you just were to graduate high school, we start at $46,443. With a two-year degree, it's $48,766. And with a bachelor's degree, it's $51,204. We do not pay for an extra degree. So if you have a master's or a doctorate degree, but we will pay you to go to school. We have tuition reimbursement to get those degrees there, which is really, really good. I didn't have that when I first came on, but it's a really good incentive. I started my career in patrol. I was a community officer for many years. I was also a training officer. I have been in the recruitment and background area for the last 6 years, and I'm trying to hire the best out there that will take the reins when I leave here. So we have about 2,000 officers. I think we're down about 150. And we have about 200 sworn, 2,000 sworn, and about 500 that are civilian employees. And that could come across the whole gamut with animal control and crime scene and human resources, any of our techs and that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a small PowerPoint, and then I'm going to open up to questions. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer it. If for some reason I don't know the answer, but sometimes I don't know at all, I will just get those. I'll jot those answers down or those questions down, and you can just let me know and I will get back to you. Okay. All right. We'll start the PowerPoint. So Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department.
By itself, it's just a piece of metal. But for you, the one who will wear it over your heart, it means everything. It means duty to uphold the law, integrity to keep you grounded, courage to face your fear. It's past defines you. Lord Cornwallis may have called Charlotte a hornet's nest of rebellion, but now there is law and order. Wear this hornet's nest proudly on your chest. Never do anything to tarnish it or bring it disgrace. It's your daily reminder you are here to serve and protect. Honor those who came before you. This badge means you belong to a family that understands the days that nearly break you and the days that make you. There is no other badge like this one. Wear it with pride. And to those who see you with it, let them know it's the heartbeat that keeps this city pounding.
Sound off, guys. Aurora.
Yes, sir.
Corrales.
Yes, sir. As you know, Had to go through a very rigorous process to be here. If that was any indication how seriously we take this training and how high our expectations are, you should already have a little bit of an inkling of that.
Through the academy, you can start to form the brim just a little bit so it'll fit. So go ahead and put your service cap on. And it should be 2 fingers, and then adjust the back tight enough that it's going to fit. Your ears should not be tucked underneath the hat. If he is on the end, he's the far right, and we say, detail, halt, and I find myself, I shoot forward a little bit. Look, using my peripheral vision, I can make small corrections, and watch this. Can everybody see me? Yes, sir. I'll take my elbow and just stick it out just a little bit. Up there. Good. Whipper, I want you to snap together. Hold up.
Well, that was just a little like day in the life of what it would be like the first week. I know sometimes folks get here and they're a little, not sticker shock, but they're trying to figure out, if this is what they want to do. But I will tell you, I started with about 60 folks in my academy class, and I have built such bonds with those folks, and some are still here, some are not, some have retired. But those bonds you build will never go away. Okay, so our purpose is the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department implements solutions and expands collaborative relationships within our organization and community to enhance trust, fairness, and respect to increase public safety. We value the oath of office, the Constitution of the United States and North Carolina, human life, integrity, people, the community, and inclusion. Our vision, we envision becoming the trusted, respected, and sought after community partner by serving our citizens and taking care of our employees. One thing we do really well here is we get out with folks. We are very big into community policing. That's always been something that we've done for years. We always consider ourselves to be one of the best at that. And there's always room for improvement. But a lot of times you'll see police cars and, you can wave, but a lot of our officers get out with folks and try to figure out what's going on in the community. Positive progress. Positive progress will be embraced by CMPD and is defined by a strong community that we embrace for collaboration, reflecting the community we serve, and becoming the model for law enforcement organizations and being the safest major city. We are the largest department between Atlanta and Washington, D.C., one of the highest paid departments in North Carolina and South Carolina. We have state-of-the-art training and equipment and a paid academy training. And that's kind of an important aspect because a lot of folks will go to the BLET, which is the state basic law enforcement training centers throughout a lot of different community colleges. And the great thing about our academy is you're getting that basic law enforcement training here, but you're also getting paid to be here. And a lot of those folks can't do that there. They can get sponsored by a department, but they're not getting a full-time salary. So that's what's the really good part about being here. And if you ask anybody across the country, they will tell you that we are by far one of the best trained departments. We have our own academy, of course, and we have state-of-the-art training and equipment. So that's one of those really important things. And the only thing you have to buy when you get here is undershirts and socks. Everything else we provide. Like I said before in the beginning, I talked about tuition reimbursement. We do have that up to a master's degree. So if, say, for instance, you're in high school and you want to come on and you want to get your 2-year degree, then your 4-year degree, then your master's degree, we will pay that. That is going to be equivalent to the UNC Charlotte rate. Okay. We have benefits in retirement. I am about 2 years away from retirement. I can't wait for that moment. It's very hard these days to get retirement in the private sector. So that's a really nice thing for in 2 years. I know that I can retire and not worry about that. I mean, of course I can get a side job, but it'll be nice to say, I'm done with this. But we have benefits, vision, we have medical, we have all that kind of stuff. And there's always so many avenues for advancement. A lot of, whatever your field is, whether it's a big department or a small department, the opportunity for advancement is here. And with the multiple specialized assignments, we have everything but horseback and winged aircraft. We do have helicopter patrols, but we do not have fixed wing airplanes. But we have everything from motorcycles to walking patrol to boat patrol. There's 2 different lakes here that surround Charlotte, Lake Wylie to the south and Lake Norman to the north. So we work with different agencies on the lake as well. So if that's something that you really want to do, we have canine, we have bomb patrol, we have all that kind of stuff. So, and like I said, you can be an investigator or a detective, you can do SWAT. A lot of folks, when they come in for their interview, everybody seems to love dogs, so they want to do canine or they want to do SWAT. We also have civil emergency units, and that's for any kind of unrest that goes on in the city, any kind of big events. They have civil emergency units, bike patrol, canine, school resource officers. Depending on what county you're in, you're going to have officers that work for CMPD, but also are working for the school as one. So they actually have dual roles there. And so we have a traffic unit, and just does motor vehicle crashes. And most of them are for dangerous life type crashes. And of course, the lake patrol. Okay, so most important thing when we look at candidates is their character, right? Your integrity, what happens when no one's looking, your character, academic integrity too. And so I know I'm talking to you all that are in middle school. That's so important. Doing your own work. Don't pass somebody else's work on as yours. That's important, with schoolwork as well as when you get into the professional world. Honesty and being trustworthy as a friend and a person. Depending on what you do, whether you do this kind of job or different jobs, you got to realize that they're going to be calling references and trying to find out, how are you? Are you a good person? Do you do what you say you're going to do? Those are really important things to have. Being a leader inside and outside of the classroom, and of course for volunteers. And so what I say to folks is, I always try to tell my kids to give back, right? And always do the best you can, and realize that sometimes we're blessed in that we need to give back to others and do our best to get out there and see how other folks live, and just volunteer time. It's not all about money, it's about giving back. So, and being a stand-up person. If somebody's getting bullied at school, stand up for that person. That's a huge thing. And just realize, whether it's this job or any job, folks are going to be looking back at your career. They're going to be looking back at your academics. They're going to be looking back at what you've done in high school and middle school, and how you've developed as a person. I will tell you, I'm the last person to know a lot about social media, and each day I learn something new. Social media is so incredibly important. I learn every day from my kids as to what they're on, and how to monitor those kind of things. But you always remember, I know you think that things go away, but posts are forever and they're always in that cloud. And sometimes, that, posts can, hinder friendships, even college admissions. And sometimes things can come back to bite you, when you're looking for a job later on. So always be careful what you like, what you post. Be very, very, very important on that. And just know that nothing ever really goes away. And you're responsible for your own account. So make sure that it's as clean. And if somebody was to look at it, your parents, that you would feel comfortable showing them that. And then always at the end, it says there's always consequences for your actions. So I guess I would say words of wisdom for me. I know I'm a lot older than you all, is, of course, everybody will say this to you: study hard, stay in school, and get good grades. I can't say that enough. I know everybody's not the best student, right? But, there's opportunities to get, tutoring, ask friends, stay after class, try to get, those grades up. And I know it's been hard with COVID, and there's been a lot of stuff where everybody's been home, sitting at home on a computer, and, you haven't been around other friends and that kind of thing. But, get out there, get some exercise, move around. But the most important thing is to stay in school. That's huge. And be motivated to achieve your goals. Any goal, doesn't matter what it could be the smallest of goals, but be motivated to do it. And be proud of yourself. Find your passion in what, we say inside and outside the classroom, whatever it is, like, volunteering, extracurriculars, whether it's sports, whether it's clubs, because eventually, if you do want to go to college, I will tell you that, a college just doesn't look at, for the most part, what your grades are. They're going to look at what else they look at the holistic approach, which means, what all you've done to better yourself and to make you better than somebody else that's in the process as well. It's grades, it's what you've done out in the community, it's your extracurriculars, if you have a job, those kind of stuff. And no matter what, there's no Lone Rangers out there, right? You need to be a team player. Everybody seems to work better with a team. There's different folks that bring something different to the table. So it's really important to work as a team, because when you get out there in the real world, a lot of times, you have to work and collaborate with others. So make sure you can work as a team member, and, don't go it solo all the time. Try to see how you work well with others. I think that's important, especially whatever job you might want to do. And the most important thing is if you are struggling, reach out. Know that there's always people willing to help out. If you are having issues at home, reach out to your counselors. If you're having issues at school, reach out to your counselors, your principal, your assistant principals. Tell your friends if you're having issues. One of the worst things is to keep things to yourself. We have so many different things in life and so many stressors. And it's really, really important to make sure that you are, getting out there and getting the help that you need. Okay. And then in closing, just good luck and follow your dreams wherever they may lead you. Your friends at the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll be welcome. I welcome any kind of questions about me, about the department, how long the academy is. It's 6 months long. Just, give or take a week or two. And I'll tell you, I have not regretted it for 28 years, and I have a family, and I love everything I do, and every day is a challenge, and it's not the same thing every day. And I think that's probably what brought me here. So thank you.
Okay, we have a few questions here.
Okay.
First question is, what courses should students take in high school if they think they may be interested in a career in law enforcement and specifically with police departments? Do you have any recommendations?
So the funny part about that is so like for me, I just took my regular courses and then I went to college and got a degree and I got a bachelor's degree and I got a master's degree at the University of South Carolina. And I got my degree, for college in criminal justice and police administration for my master's degree. But I will tell you that the coolest thing about this job is you don't have to have certain credits or certain courses to take. If you have a good heart and you're willing to help people and you're willing to do the work, then we want you. You don't have to go to college to be an officer here. One of the things I always say to folks is college isn't for everybody, but I will tell you that, life experience, what you bring to the table is probably one of the biggest things that you can bring here. And, it takes all kinds to be a police officer here. So I'd say get good grades. If they have criminal law, then yes, go for it. Sociology, any kind of psychology, any kind of mental health would be important as well, because we run more into mental health issues than anything else as of recently. Because we've kind of, this is just more system wide. It seems like we've kind of gotten away and with budget cuts of dealing with a lot of the mental health issues. And so we realize that plays a huge role in policing and who we run into every day. So sometimes we need to take a step back and realize, okay, somebody could be in a mental health crisis. So we need to, we go through different trainings for that as well. And then we call in the specialists for that. And we have certain teams that do that. But get good grades, stay in school, anything that has to do with criminal law. But also, if you don't do that, don't think you can't do this.
Thank you. So you mentioned the academy training and that it's a 6-month training. Is there a cost to that? Is there a fee to do the training?
No, it's like once you get hired by us, it's like going to a job. So the day one you start getting paid, and you're getting paid as an employee of the city of Charlotte, as well as you're getting your law enforcement degree. The only thing that we don't do is we don't house you here. You don't live here on the campus, but everything is here. Your driving's here. Any of your physical fitness is here. Your shooting is here. Everything is here on this campus. And yes, it's about 6 months long. And you come here Monday through Friday, usually around 7 to 4-ish. And you get a lunch, and you get paid. And the minute you start getting your benefits. Whether it's your medical benefits, everything starts day one.
And are there certain times of year where the academy is run that it starts?
Yes. February, June, and October. We have 3 academies. And there's also lateral officers as well that have different time starts. But for the regular academy, folks that we're just hiring for first timers, it's going to be February, June, and October.
Thank you. A couple more questions. One of my students would like to know, what is the top pay for the bike patrol person? Tell us more about the bike patrol officers.
Yeah, sure. So there's no differential like for a top officer, whether they're a regular patrol officer or a bike patrol officer. So they get paid the same. But the top salary for an officer topping out, would probably be around 85,000, give or take a couple thousand, because it's really, and my math is not really the greatest, but it's usually with we have what's called an SPO, it's a senior police officer program, and it's 79,000, and then plus if you have a degree. So it would be almost 80,000 if you didn't have any degree, and then 5% more for so 84,000 and then you know, for a 4-year degree, it's 10% more. So 87-ish.
Thank you. What are the hours for typical shifts that you have to work as an officer?
Yeah. So first shift is always going to be, you know, like a 6 to 2, but you usually have to come in for a 15-minute roll call. And those are always going to be 8-hour shifts, 5 days a week. That's only for first shift. Second shift and third shift are 10-hour days. So they're really 10 and 15 minutes. So you have 4 days on, 3 days off. And a lot of folks like to have that extra day, because that first day you get off, you know, you're like, you know, just exhaling, right? Because you've been running around or whatever for the 4 days. And so, and usually you'll have weekends off probably every 2 to 3 months. And, you know, of course, you got to realize this is not a type of job where you're going to get all your holidays off and that kind of thing. If your days off fall on a holiday, then that's wonderful. But a lot of times, especially if you're new and you start the department and you start on a shift, you're usually going to be on second or third shift. We have 13 divisions in the city of Charlotte. So you could be placed anywhere in the city. And, you know, some areas are more challenging than others, but you're definitely going to get a good cross section of the city wherever you might be.
Thank you. What kind of dogs do you use for your canine units?
I know there's German Shepherds. I know they have some bloodhounds. I'm not sure, but you know, of course I'm not on canine, but for the most part, yeah, everything I've seen. And, you know, when they have training here a lot at our academy, it's always been German Shepherds.
Is there a specific type of training that you have to be part of the canine unit that's different?
Yes. So anytime you want to do a specialized unit, so you're looking at whether it's canine, lake patrol, anything but SWAT, any of those positions where, you know, there's extra training. We have VCAT, we have all these other special units. You have to go to a special school for that. I will tell you that for the most part, most of those schools are probably about a 2-week long school. And I think canine, especially canine, they have a special location they go to. And I want to say that sometimes they may have to go to another state. So they might have to go as far as like Alabama to, you know, a special canine school there. And everything is paid by the city. You don't have to fit that bill at all, you know, whether it's, you know, going there per diem, you know, stay in a hotel, all that kind of stuff. That's paid by the city. And so you will go through, if you apply to be a canine unit or any of the specialized units, you'll go through an interview process, and then, you know, HR will ask a bunch of questions, as well as you'll have a chain of command review, and then they'll pick whoever they think is the best person for the job. And then you go to a school. Anybody that wants to be a general instructor here at the academy has to go through a school at Mecklenburg, North Carolina, which is where we do all that training as well through the state. So anything specialized, yes. If you want to be a training officer, you got to go to a school. If you want to be a school resource officer, you got to go to a special school. So it's just to get that special training that you would need to do your job better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, here's a question. What is the top speed that a patrol car can go? What's the top speed?
Well, I don't know how fast. I will tell you the funniest thing about, you know, police pursuits, and you get to some high speeds up here on what we call the CVOC, which is where we do all of our driver training. I will tell you, everybody thinks that police officers just want to go fast, and that's so not true, because if anything, we have to be the most defensive drivers than anything else. Because if you think about it, our cars are white and blue. And for some reason we get drowned out a lot. So, everybody stops for the big red truck. Everybody stops for the big medic truck because they're a lot bigger than us. Right. So, and people, don't move over like they're supposed to. So if anything, yeah, I've seen folks get as, 120 miles an hour, if the conditions were right on a highway or whatever. But whenever you're in that kind of situation, you got to realize that, that's a deadly weapon, and you're responsible for what happens behind that wheel. And God forbid something was to happen and you get in a crash and you're going too fast, that's on you. And if somebody's calling for help, whether it's a citizen or an officer, the most important thing is you get there and you get there safely. So as you get on the department, after you've gone through all this, training and driving fast, and because it's not just driving fast, you got to realize that in a police car, you've got to also, besides driving, you've got to be able to use your right hand to, change the tones and the type of siren and the different types of lighting mechanisms. And you also got to talk on the radio. So you got to be able to multitask. So sometimes, yeah, you think, okay, great, I'm going to drive fast, but that doesn't happen because, you got to think of what's going on around you. And we've had instances where, people have gotten seriously hurt because of that. So the most important thing is you want to get there safely. And yeah, sometimes you can go a little bit over the speed limit, but in my opinion, and in my experience, sometimes it's better to go the speed limit and, still have your lights and siren on, but, just make sure that people move over, because people don't know what to do sometimes when the police are behind them and they just seize up and slam on their brakes in front of you. And if you're not at a safe distance, you slam right in the back of them, and then it's on you, So yeah, that's the most important thing, is to be safe and to be more of a defensive driver.
So, speaking of that, what is the best thing to do if you're on the highway and you see a police officer coming in? I guess two different situations. One, if you're not sure if they're actually pulling you over, or two, they're not pulling you over, but you're obviously in the way. So how do you handle that as a driver?
So always remember that, they're always going to be, if they're in pursuit of whatever the situation is or going to a call, they're always going to be in that left lane. So you always move over to the right. So you'll know real quickly if they go past you, then, they're not after you. If they stay behind you and they still have the lights and siren on, and you move over to the right, and then they move over to the right with you, and then you have to think to yourself, okay, that's probably they're trying to pull you over. So move over to the right again, just, as safely as you can. And then always go to a well-lit area. I know folks, there's been issues where people saying, blue light bandits, stuff like that. And that does happen. So make sure, say for instance, if you don't feel like you're in a safe area, and you're getting pulled over by the police, if you can get on the phone and call 911 and say, hey, listen, I know the police are trying to stop me, but I can't stop now. I don't feel safe. I want to get to a well-lit area. And any, real, officer is going to know that's why you're doing that. So, and, there could be a situation if, someone's following you, meaning an officer, and you keep on going and finally pull over. They'd be like, why didn't you pull over? And just explain. I didn't pull over because I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel like I was in a well-lit area that I could pull over, or there was enough of a curb area to pull over effectively. Because we see on the news all the time, folks getting hit, on the highway. We've seen officers get hit and killed. We've seen just regular folks out there just trying to change a tire. So it's really, really important that, for the most part, when an officer's come in behind you, always go to the right as safely as you can. Get out of that left lane.
Thank you. So still talking about some cars. Do the officers get to customize their cars in any way?
No. No. I've seen some folks maybe change the hubcaps. And so sometimes, and not them personally, like say there are opportunities for certain positions in the department where you can get a take-home car. And a lot of those are like K9, SWAT, some investigations, certain people, maybe bomb squad, things where you know that they're going to have to, you know, they can get called out at any instance. So that's what's going to happen. But I've seen some tinting of windows, but anything that you do has got to be approved by your chain. You can't just like soup up your car because it makes you feel good. You know, you got to imagine this is taxpayer money. These are cars that are paid by the taxpayer. So no. And I think that they've changed to different like types of wheels, just because we were having issues sometimes with like hubcaps flying off, you know, for like curbs, you know, and that kind of thing. But otherwise, no, you can't do whatever you want with your police car.
Thank you. So if a student is interested in potentially doing the training, is there any way, do you have any internships or job shadowing opportunities, or any way that they can see police working firsthand before committing to a training?
Yeah. So, so if you are starting early in your career, so there is a middle school academy that they have here that meets in the summer, and it's only 1 week, and it's at the Charlotte Police Department and at the academy. And then there's also a high school academy, and the high school academy is also, but it's 2 weeks here at the academy. And when you're in high school, you can be what's called a police explorer. And, you know, as an explorer, you do a lot of community service. You learn a lot about, you know, the physical training. They take you and do a lot of different things. You shadow different officers. You go out to the divisions and learn what it's like, you know, sit in roll calls, that kind of thing. So that is, for the most part, that is going to be the Explorer program. Now, when you go to college, you can do the cadet program. And also they have an intern program. And the internship program is paid, and that's when you're going to college. And then the cadet program also is paid as well. So the two different things. Of course, internship's going to be in the summer. The cadet program can be all year long. I think they work 20 hours a week, the cadets. And so it's a really good opportunity to get a taste of what it's like. We have folks from all over. You know, I would say we had 28 folks that were here this past summer as paid interns. This year, I think it's going to be like 25. So that's for college. And then the cadets we have, and they do physical fitness during the week. They get paid for that. And they do a lot of volunteering, a lot of community service. They do a lot of work with the Police Athletic League. So it's really, really important, like I said before, about, you know, giving back and volunteering and seeing what it's like to truly be a police officer and to help people.
So 2 follow-up questions. One is, how would one find out about the middle school, high school academy? Is that on y'all's website? And then the second one is, do you need to be enrolled in college for the cadet program or the internship program when you're out of high school?
Yeah, for cadets, you have to be in cadets and internships. You have to be in college. That's part of the requirement, because the cadet program was, they were giving you tuition reimbursement to be a cadet. So, and then the internship, the important thing about that is a lot of schools these days require you, and I'm talking about colleges, a lot of the colleges require you to do internships before you graduate. So most of our interns are usually juniors or seniors. And it's a pretty good mix of folks. So they, you know, come out and they work like the 20 hours. But of course, the internship's a little bit, more intense. I'm trying to see if I can get you the name that the gentleman that does the Explorer program for the middle school and the high school. His name is Officer Ryan Botzenmeyer. So if you want to, I could kind of tell you what his name. I mean, if you want to write that down, I could do that for you. It's Ryan. So it's RYAN Botzenmeyer. It's a BOTZENMAYER. And he is, at cmpd.org. And then if you wanted to know anything about CMPD, you can go to charlottepolicejobs.com. And that's going to be, one of the, we've gone through a bunch of different emails to do the job here. And so visit charlottepolicejobs.org. So now it's charlottepolicejobs.com. And they will be able to tell you like everything. You can click on different sections for internships and stuff like that.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. We're at time now, but thank you for your time today. This was great. Just a reminder to the teachers, if you'll get your students to fill out the survey, and we really appreciate you joining us today to hear more about the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you.